Hello, and welcome back to Hitman 3 and the featured contracts. And today's contract, Happy Hour Murder Wine, set in Mendoza, Argentina. So today's briefing: mischievous workers on the Veneto Yates production line have been adding fish bits to the wine that Zoe Delahunty Light ordered for the next happy hour tavern time. Give the culprits something to whine about by throwing them all in the Grape Crusher. And today's contract has been supplied to us courtesy of Ian Heighton of Eurogamer. Except we're not going to be throwing people in the Grape Crusher because they have to be all taken care of in a full accident. And speaking of full accidents, here are our 5 targets. We must be disguised as a winery worker. All must be killed in full accidents. We have only one exit available to us. We cannot be spotted or recorded, and we can only take out our targets. We can also not change our disguise. So for today's challenge, we will be bringing with us some coins and a hammer. So right from the start and off the bat, what we're going to do is make our way into the grape crushing area, the fermentation room I believe it is, and we're going this way to avoid the enforcers, although we will have to bypass one just in this next area here. But we're going to hug the grape crusher on the way around. He has his back to us so he won't see us. And we're going to make our way up to the other grape crusher, the more industrial strength looking one, and up here we will find our first target. So we're just going to throw a coin over the back there somewhere. That will get his attention, and when he comes over to investigate, we can render him unconscious. So all 5 of our targets are in roughly this area. So target number 1 is now safely away from prying eyes. We can then pounce on him, render him unconscious, and we're going to throw him over the balcony here behind target number 2, and that will get target number 2's attention. Now we're doing this on purpose, so we're going to duck down here. Target number 2 will now find target number 1, and he will go off and he will get a guard who is nearby target number 3. And we want him to do this. We want him to go and get the guard. We want the guard to remove the body, and while the guard is in the process of removing the body, we will then pounce on target number 2. It will all make a lot more sense in a few moments. So target number 2 has now gone and got the guard from target number 3, who you can see up the stairs there. So we're waiting for the guard to bag and tag the body, and when he moves away, our target number 2, who is currently just standing on the stairs there, you can see, will move back into position, and we're going to lure him up onto this platform. So everybody is now going back into their positions. The guard has bagged up target number 1 and will be removing him momentarily. Target number 2 has maneuvered himself back into position, so we're just going to let the guard carry the body to a safe earshot distance before we throw our coin just on the platform here, just where the 2 areas join. But before we do that, we do need to turn on the radio. You can do it right after you've thrown the coin, but make sure the radio is on, because that's going to distract our target, or many of our targets, as they come up the stairs. So once the radio is on, we can then throw our coin. We're going to retrieve our coin, and because target number 2 is an enforcer, we're going to hide behind the grape crusher here. And when he comes up to investigate what the noise was, he will get distracted by the radio, and at that point we can then render him unconscious. And we need to do this, as you can see, the guard is moving the body away and will be back along that same route, so we need to get this done quickly while he's in the other room. So we're going to use our hammer, knock out our target, and very quickly drag him and dump him over the same balcony we dumped target number 1. Now here's why we've done this in this way. So when the guard returns to go back to his normal routine, he will then find target number 2 dead on the floor. And at that point, because we've retrieved our hammer, we can then render him unconscious from up here with a thrown hammer. Be aware, I am crouching a little close, so when he goes over that footbridge he will spot me slightly, but not enough to worry me, as he's already spotted the body. So when he goes over to the body, we can then launch our hammer at the back of his head, render him unconscious, and he is now out of our way, and leaving target number 3 perfectly alone and secluded. So we're just going to take the guard's body and we're going to hide him in the crate provided. We're going to retrieve our hammer. It's coming very useful so far. We're going to make our way up the stairs and into the ventilation area, and we're going to knock out target number 3. Hello, target number 3. So once he's unconscious, we're going to leave him there, and we're going to make our way up the stairs to the security room, or through the security room should I say. So just be aware of the one patrolling bodyguard who is there. We're going to bypass straight past them and up the stairs beyond, which will lead us either into the tunnels under the mansion or out towards the barbecue. But up here we will find one waiter playing with his phone and not working, so we're going to punish him by rendering him unconscious. We're going to hide his body in the closet at the far end of the room, because Diana and Tamara and their bodyguards do come through here, so we don't want to leave any bodies lying around. Make sure you retrieve your hammer as well. We're going to retrace our steps now back down to the ventilation room, again watching out for the guard who patrols around by the security door area. And down here we're going to retrieve target number 3, and we are going to drag him up to where we've just knocked out the waiter. It is a bit tedious, but it is the safest option. So we're going to drag him all the way up to the balcony area, or the backstage area leading to the barbecue. So we're just going to check on where the guard is. He's now got his back to us, so we're safe to proceed. Just check on where Tamara and Diana are, and they're nowhere in the area, so we are safe to proceed all the way up, and then throw our friend here over the balcony and onto the stairs, where he will promptly break his neck for us. So once we've got that taken care of, we have 2 more targets, and we need to make our way back down to the grape crushing room. And what we're going to do here basically is we're going to use our hammer or coins if we need them, and the radio. So what we're going to do basically is we are going to throw one of our distractions around about there. Now I'm using the hammer because hopefully it bounces back at me and we don't lose it like you tend to do with the coins. So that's going to attract the attention of one of the workers downstairs, 2 of which are targets, the rest are not. And basically we're going to have to lure each and every one of them up here with the distraction and the radio, and knock each of them out. And if they are a target, we are going to throw them over into the nicely accumulating body pile over the balcony here. So over you go, and that leaves us 1 more target to go. But at this point the chances are the next 3 people we lure will be the 3 non-target workers. So what we will do in that situation, oh, I thought I'd lost my hammer then for a second, is exactly what we would do with the targets, except we won't be throwing them over the balcony, obviously. So once the non-target arrives, we can render them unconscious quietly. That's why I didn't use the hammer. We're going to drag them around to the far side of the grape crusher, and we're just going to leave them there. And then we're going to rinse and repeat over and over again until we snare our final target. Now unfortunately I happen to know that We managed to snare everyone but the target. Our final target is the last guy we managed to get. Isn't it always the way? You know, it's if you lose your keys, you're always in the last place you look. But as Lee Evans once said, you wouldn't find them and keep looking. So they will be in the last place you look. So here comes our final non-target civilian worker. So once we have this young lady safely out of our way, the only person left we can distract with this method will be our final target at last. So we're going to retrieve our hammer for the final time, wait for our target to arrive, and because we haven't got to worry about disturbing anyone with a noisy knockout, we're going to throw the hammer at his head. And it was a nice little dance he did there on his way down. So once we have him unconscious, we're going to drag him once again to the banister, and we are going to throw him over the balcony here and into the body pile. So technically he had a soft landing, he could have survived that. So that's all of our targets taken care of. We have not been spotted by cameras or spotted doing anything illegal as yet. We now have to make good our escape, and the only exit available is the vineyard exit. So we're going to make our way straight there, but there is one enforcer right by the gate, but if we're quick we can avoid him. So there we go, that is another featured contract taken care of. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.